The hypocrisy, the double standard, the fake concern trolling is a 24/7 never-ending job for people in this space. It literally is. And when you have two incidents with a similar through line popping up on social media, you get the opportunity to see the people who are willing to stand up and do the right thing and the people that are playing social sides, playing culture sides, political sides to make sure that they don't give an inch. And we have a prime example today with this news about Chris Tyson in contrast to what happened with Dr. Disrespect and how certain people have reacted to it. Certain content creators have reacted to it. Now, I have to be very careful about the way I talk about this because it is YouTube and YouTube is very strict about these kinds of things. And in order for my video to go out to everyone, I have to be very careful about this. You can see on the screen what the news is and what we're talking about. I'm going to read it and I'm going to edit what I'm saying so that YouTube doesn't catch me for anything because I don't want any of that. Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast is being accused of talking to underage people. Two videos of the last 30 days outline an alleged inappropriate relationship with someone underage. It started with that person at that age and plans to meet up with the same person at another age. You can see it there on the screen. Chris Tyson, who now goes by Ava, has yet to respond to these allegations. Okay, before I dive any deeper into this, as far as I know, she goes by Ava Chris Tyson now. So I'm not sure if there's an issue with them calling her Chris in this, other than the fact that it feels microaggressive. But I don't know if there's a problem with that. Let me know in the comments below if Ava's talked about that at all, or if it seems to be okay. I have no idea. But I do know that a lot of people in the space who have tried to demean Ava and Mr. Beast have done so with a lot of transphobia. So it's no big shock to me that that is what's happening. So let me talk about why I'm speaking on this today and why it's an issue for me. Well, first of all, it's a double standard and it's hypocritical for a lot of people in the space. And I'm looking around at like Side Scrollers podcast. I'm looking at people like John Della Rose, Geeks and Gamers, a lot of these other channels where there was a different framing of what happened with Dr. Disrespect versus what's going on with Ava here. And the issue with that is when the accusations came out about Dr. Disrespect, literally the same way this came out, accusations, they were immediately ready to jump in the line of defense of Dr. Disrespect. They were immediately ready to go out and say, I'm going to come up with every excuse under the sun I can to make sure that I protect Dr. Disrespect, because he is someone I'm guessing they perceive to be part of their community. Whether he feels that way or not, that's how they perceived him. They perceived him to be part of this conservative, right-leaning part of their community. To be honest, I haven't watched Dr. Disrespect in years, but I saw this unfold, and I think I should make this very clear, though, about my stance on all of this, because I don't talk about it very often. If you've been in my live streams, I mention it, but I don't talk about it often on video. If someone, anyone, regardless of what side you land on, regardless of who you are, regardless of what you do, if you are doing something inappropriate like this, you absolutely should be held accountable 100% across the board. It's no gray area for me. If you are doing this at all, it doesn't matter if you're someone that I've supported in the past. It doesn't matter if you're someone that I absolutely dislike, somebody that I hate. If you are doing this across the board, you should be held accountable 100%. And I've never faltered on that. That's going to always be my opinion on it. If you're doing something illegal, you should be held accountable for it 100%. That's how I feel about it. So that is my thoughts on both of these situations with Dr. Disrespect and Ava here. If something had happened, and that was my take initially with Dr. Disrespect. However, the difference is Dr. Disrespect came out a couple of days after the accusations and actually admitted to it. And then there were people who were still defending him after that. And that is when I had the problem. That's when I took my break from making videos, because I was so fed up with all the hypocrisy, double standard, concern trolling, because there were people in the comments of videos that I have made saying all kinds of hateful things about me because I'm gay and regards to inappropriate activities, the words groomer, things like that, with absolutely no reason to whatsoever. And that's just okay. But they were defending people like Melanie Mack and stuff like that, defending Dr. Disrespect tooth and nail. And those were the same fans that came over and attacked me for literally no reason whatsoever. And so I took a break. I was like, I need to sort of reset everything, because they seem to think that it's okay to go around to random people who are queer and say all these hateful things to them. But when you have one of your own come out and admit to doing it, you're running defense for him. And it baffled me because we're talking about the possibility of someone underage actually being groomed by an adult, and you are running defense for them. And then we come to today with this news with Ava, where it's an accusation, in which, by the way, at the time of making this video, the person, unless it's fake news, the person who was actually the victim of all of this, who is now an adult, if I read it correctly, again, it could be fake. I don't know. It's the internet. Came out and said that there was nothing that happened, and this is all like trying to smear Ava and Mr. Beast by guilt by association stuff and all this other stuff that has been said in regards to this incident. I don't know if it's true or not. So as of right now, for me, it's still allegations. But we see people jumping on and making videos already condemning Ava. All of a sudden, Ava is 100% guilty. There's no other side to the story. There's no defense. We're not talking about age of consent. None of that is being discussed. But when Dr. Disrespect did it, we were trying to jump through legal loopholes for him. We were trying to make up all kinds of excuses for why it was okay for him to do it, even though he admitted it. But here, with a trans person, now all of a sudden they're just guilty from the accusations on. And people like John Della Rose, who made videos actually talking about the whole Nick Merckx Dr. Disrespect thing, didn't go hard on Dr. Disrespect. Very light on Dr. Disrespect in videos. He's already jumping on this allegation hate train against Ava Tyson. Now, here's the thing. This could absolutely be something that really happened. And again, my opinion of it is the same with Dr. Disrespect. If somebody is doing something illegal, somebody is doing something they're not supposed to be doing, they should be held accountable. And my opinion will always be the same on that, regardless. However, I'm not the one trying to run defense for other people. I'm not going to get on here and start defending Ava and say, well, maybe actually, maybe in that state, it wasn't illegal. Or actually, when that person was there, maybe it wasn't them. Maybe it was somebody pretending to be them and they were actually over 18 at the time and they tricked Ava into doing it. No, I'm not going to do any of that. That's not how I roll. It's not what I'm going to do. But that's what these people did. And that's why I have an issue with it. These situations are similar enough in the fact that these are coming out as accusations, and every single person that saw these accusations from that space in regards to Dr. Disrespect were running defense at the jump. Now, some of them, and I have to say this, did change their stance once Dr. Disrespect came out and admitted to doing it. One of the more prominent people was Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. If I remember correctly, he was one of the people who actually changed his stance. But Quartering, Melanie Mack, Vera Dark, the Fandom Menace folks, all of them still kept defending him. Or they were silent. But they have a lot to say about this because Mr. Beast is the king of the castle and Ava is the gateway to the king of the castle. They want to see the king of the castle fall. I don't care about Mr. Beast. I don't really watch his content, but I do realize he's a massively popular YouTuber. So for them, it's like they're able to take shots by proxy by going after Ava, by doing guilt by association. The same thing that community doesn't want done to them. For them, there is no guilt by association. Anytime I've ever talked about a pairing of people, if I say, well, Eric and Az hang out together, and Az has this opinion on XYZ, people, and I would say, well, maybe Eric has that same opinion. Maybe he does. Just questioning it. People go, well, that's guilt by association. You shouldn't do that. But here we have a situation where now that Ava has done something wrong, all of a sudden, Mr. Beast and everyone associated with Ava is also guilty. That's what I'm talking about. Double standards, hypocrisy, fake concern. These people do not care about underaged persons. They do not care about the kids. They don't care about any of this. For them, it is all about culture clout, culture war, and outrage clicks. That has been my issue with it from the beginning. I do not genuinely believe that the vast majority of the people doing this actually care about the stuff they're talking about. It is absolutely obvious. The way I was treated in that space, groomer this, PDF file this, all this other dumb shit, leave kids alone, stop touching children, whatever, all the things said to me based on just the fact that I'm a gay person. All of that is fair game. Dr. Disrespect admits to it. All of a sudden, they're running defense. How dare you say that about him when he admitted to grooming somebody? But they were running to the defense. Now we have Ava out here doing something, and all of a sudden, or say alleged, accused of doing something, even though the victim has said that that's not what happened and that it's all a lie, being accused of doing something, and they're immediately going into hunt mode. They're witch hunting and attacking and going after Ava. And look, Ava could be, I'm going to reiterate this. This could really be something. And if it is, then Ava specifically should be held accountable for that. My issue with it is the hypocrisy from the community that fake cares about children, that is hypocritical, that does the double standard game. It is very obvious to me when I was talking about that Quiet on the Set series where there was actual abuse going on in Hollywood. They were deadly silent on that. None of them were talking about that. None of them spoke on it. That entire community that lives on the fact that Hollywood is inappropriate, doing things with families and kids and trying to groom people, and they're putting gay people in a movie and them kissing means that it's grooming, minors, whatever, all this stuff, when it actually was happening. And there was a documentary about it, a 4-part series talking about it. They were deadly silent on it. And now that a trans person may actually be involved with something, now we're back to fake concern. When Dr. Disrespect did it, they were jumping through legal loopholes to try and defend it. It's crazy. It's crazy. These guys are transparent. It's paper thin. They're all liars. It's all a double standard. It's all a grift. It's all for clout. They don't care about anybody except lining their pockets with outrage money.